All right, guys, we got so much to get to today. Before we get started, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell. Show your support to the Unwoke. We are back in the flesh. Real quick, guys, before we get started, quick question. Can a black man be considered a white supremacist?
Cut.
No, that's a serious question because I was asked this the other day at work by another black guy because I support the conservative side of the aisle.
Don't be afraid! There is cookie and punch for us to enjoy, and we can...
Black guy, white supremacist. Kind of blew me away, but, you know, that's just the world we live in today. That's our modern discourse. One of the things I want to touch on today is this sort of this jargon that the political woke has amongst each other. Now, keep in mind, these linguistic tricks that the left tries to play, it's not meant to convey any information. It's meant to actually obfuscate the point, you know, such as like Black Lives Matter. It's like a semantic wordplay, you know, it's like three different layers of what you can interpret from that mantra. Black Lives Matter. Of course, Black Lives Matter. Who the hell is walking around saying Black Lives don't matter? Point to the people who are saying Black Lives don't matter. Whew. All right. I don't want my blood pressure to get high. The woke jargon is very important because it distinguishes and it signals to other woke-ettes or woke-ites that they are part of this, you know, this monolith, this echo chamber. And they do so by using certain terms, you know, terms like patriarchal system, systemic injustice, microaggressions. Black people probably don't know what that is, but it's just kind of a big thing on college campuses, you know, where, you know, you got a bunch of pansies and they don't want their feelings to be hurt. And so they create these safe spaces and to avoid, you know, becoming offended.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere.
You got another one, equal outcomes. Go listen to Jordan Peterson. He's a professor of psychology in Canada, Toronto, I believe. He utterly abhors that notion of equal outcomes.
There's two important modes of equality that have to be segregated and discussed separately, because people tend to confuse equality of opportunity with equality of outcome. Right. And I think that it's perfectly reasonable to be a free market champion, let's say, or at least an appreciator of the utility of free markets, and to be strongly in favor of equality of opportunity, which means that you try to remove from the market system any impediments to people manifesting those talents that would make them effective and competent players in the productive market itself. Mostly on the basis of the fact that that's counterproductive for everyone, the individuals, but also for everyone who could be benefiting from their talent.
Now, equal opportunity is a different set of circumstances. Equal opportunity provides for all of us to have access to that opportunity. Now, equal outcomes, that's a whole different dynamic. You're basically saying, you know, everybody deserves to be equally situated in life, which is implausible. It's an untenable position to hold.
In a socialist economy, the government has the ultimate power. It decides what you get from a limited supply it decides should exist. Instead of millions of people making millions of decisions about what they want, a few people, government elites, decide what people should have and how much they should pay for it. Not surprisingly, they always get it wrong.
We got the school to prison pipeline. Guys, what I'm trying to say is this is a form of like pig Latin.
8th grade. I ilway eBay epinsle. All a day. SCA. I way.
If you don't speak this lingo, if you don't speak this linguistic tact, then you are going to be castigated as unwoke. You're going to be one of us, guys. I did a little montage of different woke signaling and terms that these people use, and you guys are very familiar with them. Just check it out. Some of the faces may be familiar. Just check it out and tell me if let me know what you think.
Non-white people are too dumb to get smart.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it is all designed to suppress the vote.
My students, when we talk about voter suppression,
really important for us to recognize that we are we must be united in our diversity, that we can't allow.
every day,
governments all over the world, including the United States, deny millions of women their fundamental reproductive rights.
White men denying the existence of systemic racism, that is the essence of white entitlement.
Root out racism, and I believe that we can do that because that doesn't represent the...
tells you that this president's policies are not about immigration, it's about ethnicity and racism.
Equality suggests, everyone should get the same amount. The problem with that, not everybody's starting out from the same place.
We have allowed covert racism to surface, and now it's overt. That is all that's happened because for years we pretended like covert racism wasn't really that.
I am for reparations to African Americans in this country.
And that's not the patriarchy.
Even while I was on vacation, I woke up in the middle of the night at 3:30 in the morning, just concerned about climate change. Glaciers are melting, our sea levels are rising.
Environmental racism is the new Jim Crow.
An implicit bias is a prejudice that turns into an action that is unconscious. You don't know that you are doing it.
Oh, does anybody know, has anybody ever heard of the school to prison pipeline?
Cut.
So that's what I'm talking about, guys. You'll be able to distinguish between who's woke and who's not by simply gauging the woke jargon, who's speaking these terms. Environmental racism, that's a new one. That's a new one. Environmental racism. How do you even conceptualize that? Reading the New York Times, and I stumbled across this opinion piece by this guy Thomas Edsall, and he kind of akin our modern day discourse to political sectarianism. Now, I'm just going to read the article, and you guys tell me what you think. On October 30th, a group of 15 eminent scholars, several of whom I also got a chance to talk to, published an essay, Political Sectarianism, arguing that the antagonism between the left and the right has become so intense that words and phrases like effective polarization and tribalism were no longer sufficient to capture the level of partisan hostility. Fight. All right. The severity of the political conflict has grown increasingly divorced from the magnitude of policy disagreement, the author writes, requiring the development of a subordinate construct, political sectarianism, the tendency to adopt a moralized identification with one political group against another. What this article is encapsulating is that our political discourse has become so intense that just, words like tribalism, polarization, and all that don't really capture the fervor of what is actually going on. There's like some moral impetus behind it. As I said before, you're pretty much considered an evil person if you don't agree with the left's point of view.
What the
The first crusade against slavery began in the 18th century, you dolts. The act prohibiting importation of slaves of 1807 took effect in 1801. This legislation was promoted by Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson. 1904. Slavery in the French colony of Senegal was still thriving. In Senegal. 1922. The British took sufficient control in Tanganyika to stamp out slavery there. You guys are morons. Absolutely bereft of any common sense, any sensibility to have a conversation. Because you're so infused with your own pretentious, myopic view of the world that you have no ability to look outside yourself or even have no internal introspection. I'm pissed off right now because it's permeating America. Our kids are morons. Our teenagers are morons. And most of the adults that I encounter on a daily basis are morons.
You are so frustrating because you act like you're smart, but you're a moron. We're done. We are done.
They're really good at, kind of cherry picking at these little life experience anecdotal stories that they have and editorializing and just making the story so extreme that it just has to be a racial incident. Then he tells me, yeah, we were at some ball game last year and four of my friends, and they basically misidentified our vehicle as to being a vehicle seen fleeing from a crime scene. I said, well, did you ask the officer whether or not the car fit the same description as the vehicle you were driving? He said, oh, no, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They shouldn't have stopped me. It was racist. It was racist, dude. You hear about the housing discrimination law. Oh, gosh, they used to keep black people from owning homes and buying new houses and property. Okay, that was a thing. That is correct. That is historically correct. However, I'm sure you are very familiar with the Home Disclosure Act of 1975, right? Yeah, there were actually federal laws that actually prohibited that sort of discrimination. Oh, that's right. You don't know because you don't think it's incumbent upon you to do your own research. You just swallow the little clips in the spoon-fed information that they force down your throat. You'll just cloister yourself in a little cocoon of stupidity and say, fuck it. 1968. Hey, morons. Hello. Do you guys know what the Title VII Act is? Hello. The Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Have we heard of that one? Oh, that's right. We don't, because we're morons. We just believe that there's racism. There always has been, and it still is today.
It's a mindset thing, though. It's a fucked up mindset.
It's so prevalent. It's actually stopping me from making good choices in my life. Yeah. It has nothing to do with individual choices. It has everything to do with the external system. It's not me. It's certainly not me. I'm just the victim.
No matter how many people admire you, being black in America is tough, and we got a long way to go. For us as a society and for us as African Americans until we feel equal.
Oh, look, guys, how about this fun fact for your ass? Mauritania, and that's in Africa. Mauritania was the very last place to abolish slavery. And guess what year that took place, guys? You don't know? Oh, you don't know? Oh, well, it was, 2007. Wait, did you just say that They didn't abolish slavery until 2007? That's what you're saying? Oh, yes, that's what I'm saying, you moron. Because you don't know, because you're an idiot. Oh, the joy. The joy.